still. Ain't no foul. Ooh, block. Good defense. That's bucket. Ah, he missed that shit. Bad shot, bad shot, bad shot. Bad shot, Pool. You motherfucking fool. What's up, y'all? What's up, Star? I'm gonna do my I'm not gonna do incense and ashtrays tonight because I need to listen to this Kendrick album like more times before I do an album review. So stay tuned, y'all. Monday over on Incense and Ashtrays, I'm doing an album review of this Kendrick album. On Monday. On Monday, Incense and Ashtrays, we will give the official review of Kendrick's new album. Alright? So I need y'all to listen up. Tune in to that legendary piece of art that he just created. I got some good, you know, I'm like anything else, I don't like everything about the album. Certain stuff, certain lyrics that kind of raise my antennas. But overall, it's a great album. So, yes, Kendrick is FBA. Nigga from Compton. We ain't got no Jamaicans and shit like that here in LA. Especially back in the 80s. You get Belizeans, but I don't think he Belizean. Kendrick. That album is dope. I will say one thing that Kendrick told you niggas to do. Kendrick told you niggas to go see Eckhart. And if you don't know what that means, I'm going to tell you on Sunday. You know, he niggas with daddy issues. He said, you might need to see Eckhart. I'm going to break that down and more on Sunday. My album reviews be the shit. Okay. 20 seconds left. In a quarter. Golden State up by 2. All right, here we go. High screen for Wiggins. They get the switch. Onto this light-skinned nigga with a ponytail. Good move, Curry. Ooh, he missed the layup, though. Damn it, Steph. All right, it's halftime. What's up, Quan? What's up, Mark by Smith? I think with it going back to Boston, Boston gonna win. I have a feeling Boston gonna. I wanted Milwaukee to close it out tonight because I hate the fucking Celtics. I'm a Laker fan, but I love the way the Celtics play. It was one play that the Celtics. If I was on my computer, I'll do this with you guys, but I'm not on my computer. I'm on my phone. It was one play, like towards with 4 minutes left. Tatum had the ball, top of the key, and he shifted his own player. I think that was Brown. He told that nigga to go line up in the short corner. That's real basketball. Because the minute Brown shifted down to the short corner, it opened up the floor space. It took the zone defense out of Tatum's way, and he had a wide open shot that he ultimately missed. But it was just a great bit of basketball. Y'all know I'm a basketball nerd. I don't give a fuck about the NBA. I'm not a fan of none of these players. All these players can kiss my ass for all I care. But I love the mathematics and the geometry and the war strategy that is basketball. Let's see what y'all talking about. Are you about to be out and about, Quan? Quan, you came in late. I'm doing my Kendrick album review on Sunday. No incense and ashtrays tonight. I was going to do it, but I got some shit to do tonight. So I'm going to do the album review on Sunday. Plus, I only heard Kendrick's album twice so far, so I got to hear it like 10 more times. Because on my album review, I'm going to give you niggas a perspective. Y'all know my shit. I'm deep as fuck. So I'm going to give y'all a perspective that ain't nobody else going to give on my album reviews. I don't just say, man, that nigga got lyrics, man. He a lyricist. No. Just because you put 2 or 3 words together that rhyme and you can do a double entendre or whatever, What is that double entendre? What is that triple entendre actually saying? It's not good enough to be a lyricist with me. Your lyrics got to say something. And if they do say something, I'm going to break down the meanings behind that. So you're going to get that on Sunday. What you niggas talking about? I don't think Phil Jackson's trying to trade LeBron. I think that was just a report that was put out because my Lakers have turned into attention whores. I love my Lakers, but I got to tell the truth. The Lakers front office done turned into attention whores. I don't think Phil's trying to trade LeBron. I would love it if he did trade LeBron, get his ass out of my city, but I don't think he is. I think that's just a report based on things that LeBron said about Phil Jackson and vice versa back in the day. That's just some shit to give niggas talking about the Lakers. That's all. Do I think Puffy signed with Motown? You said, why do I think Puffy signed Motown? Who the hell said Puffy signed with Motown? Where'd you get that from, brother? You on the wrong YouTube page if you think I said something about Puffy and Motown. What the fuck? You must have mistook something I said, my brother. You can say whatever you want to say about a player. Yeah, Tatum is a superstar. The NBA has players that aren't superstars anymore that they keep telling you are superstars, and they have superstars that they don't ever talk about because they want to promote these now past their prime, no longer superstars, as superstars. So they said Nike is unlikely to extend Kyrie's shoe deal. See what happens when a man stands on his own? A black man? They don't want to extend this shoe deal. Big mistake, Nike. The kids love Kyrie, even though the white media doesn't. Hold on, y'all. I gotta light me an incense. Yeah, it's real. It's known that Phil don't like aging stars, but that doesn't mean this report is true. Hold on. I think what I might do, I think I might want to, I might actually want to, I might want to shroom out to Kendrick's album to really get some deep meaning behind it. But I'm not going to have time to shroom between now and Sunday. So I think Sunday I'm going to give a sober breakdown of Kendrick's album. And then sometime next week, I'm probably going to shroom out to Kendrick's album. And then get some real third eye kind of shit going on. You dig? Ah, yeah. Like the incense. What else y'all talking about? Now, King David, I will prefer the Lakers get rid of LeBron. That's my preference. My preference is the Lakers get rid of LeBron James and get some draft picks back and some young talent in return. I just don't think that's possible. I try to separate what I want from, the possibilities that are out there that exist. Like I say, y'all, this is the first ladder Zippo ever bought. Miami, 2003. I don't lose shit. Bought this motherfucker on Ocean Drive when I first started smoking cigars. No, I didn't watch Atlanta. I don't watch Atlanta, but I heard about the whole Kevin Samuels thing. I'm being on there. You're right, LeBron is not a Laker. Yeah. What's up, Positive Influence? Yeah, LeBron is not a Laker. No, he's not. He's a guy that's clout chasing off my Lakers, and he's holding my goddamn squad captive. Y'all got bumper to bumper in Dallas. Ain't it like 10:30 in Dallas? What the fuck y'all got bumper to bumper traffic for? Y'all think y'all LA, nigga? Huh? What up, Courtney G? Man, YouTube be fucking with my videos now, so like, go follow Incense and Ashtrays. All of my Incense and Ashtrays, I now can upload them to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And I want to start uploading some more of these episodes of Hotepish to Spotify, but I have an issue going on with that. Do I ever watch Bomb First on YouTube? Nah, I never seen that. That's a good poll comment, Unspoken Voices. Yeah, the NBA does allow Giannis to run over player because Giannis is one of their chosen ones right now. When you're one of the chosen ones, you can do what the fuck you want to do. When you're one of the chosen ones, you know what to do. Yeah, Linda Rambis does have a lot of control over the Lakers. Yes, she does. Unfortunately. Hey, what do y'all think about my live show? I think I'm going to do my live show, my live comedy show. It's going to be in August. I just got to go sign the contract, but I think I'm making it in August. And I think I'm making a Saturday afternoon show, like 2 or 3 o'clock. What do y'all think about like a 2 o'clock comedy show? What do y'all think about that? A 2 o'clock comedy show. Like on a Saturday. Would y'all? Ain't nobody doing shit like that right now. And Quan, when I come to Dallas, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna hit up my people in Dallas. And I think I might throw it, because I want to do my Dallas show in August, but I want to do LA first. Gotta take care of home first before you hit the road. Remember that, fellas. Always take care of home before you get out and do whatever else you gotta do. Remember that, men. But taking care of home is a good principle and philosophy to live life by. So I'm doing my first show in LA, but my second show I'm gonna do in Dallas. And I think I'm gonna do it, make it a daytime show also. We already did Austin back in December. Well, Craig Fax did. But you can roll up to Dallas though. I'm gonna do my own comedy show. My comedy show, it ain't got nothing to do with Craig Fax. The comedy show is gonna be my shit. What's up, Valerie? Much love from Dallas. What's up, Emmanuel? Yeah, I'm thinking like, so for Dallas, I'm thinking like first or second week of September. I might, because I was in Dallas last year, the week before the Texas State Fair. I've always wanted to go to the Texas State Fair. I've never been. So I may do it either the week of the Texas State Fair or sometime around there. I love Dallas. That's where my grandmama from. You know what I found out? I knew my grandmother was born in Dallas. No, she was born in Oklahoma, in Tulsa. My grandmother was born, my great-grandparents were actually in Tulsa during the Tulsa massacre. And my grandmother was born, 8 years after Black Wall Street? And but her family's always been from Dallas. What I found out when I was in Dallas, I realized when you go back 4 generations, you're talking about. Remember when people talk about people talk about their family. You have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 16 great grandparents. It multiplies. It multiplies. So if I'm talking about going back 4 generations, we're talking about 32 grandparents. If I'm talking about going back 1, 2, 3, what? It's either 3 or 4. I forgot which one. I think 3 generations, 4 generations. We're talking about 32 grandparents. So that's 32 people from 32 parts of the country. Yeah, 60, thank you, Star. 64. That's why talking history is so convoluted. Yes, like it's like you'll tell people, yeah, I have family from Virginia. Yeah, but that's the family from Virginia is one of 64 people. I got Virginia, I got Michigan, I got Dallas, I got Oklahoma City, I got Tulsa, I got all that. So anyway, back to my grandmother. I found out that going back, that the house my grandmother lived in, that I would always go back and visit, and my family still owns in South Dallas. My family's had that house since just out of slavery. I'm talking like 1870s. They got that house in South Dallas in like 1873 or something like that. And it's like my grandmother's grandmother lived in that same house in South Dallas. And it's like right around the corner from the Cotton Bowl. You know, it's only like, it's down the street from the Cotton Bowl. I never knew that. But my family that still live in the house, they pulled out a book. And her name was Mary Pickney Smith. And I was able to see all my family all throughout Texas during the time of slavery and after slavery. Yep, right off MLK and Malcolm X. Yep. I don't remember the name of the street, but yeah, like. But I remember MLK and Malcolm X was like 6 or 7 blocks away or something like that. Same house since the 1870s. You said your last name is Smith? Yeah, Miss Mary. Well, maybe. Hey, shit, we might be family. Shit, I don't know. Cause I was looking through the book, and the book is still in Dallas. I don't have it, but I was taking pictures of as many pages as I can take pictures of, and it was showing all this family like in all these rural towns in Texas. And it's funny, so because I know Smith is my mom's side, so my mom's side has a Smith, but those Smiths are in Louisiana. I didn't know my dad's side had Smiths until I was in Dallas a couple months ago. And those Smiths are in Texas. A lot of Smith motherfuckers in my family. What's up, Bismarck T? Yeah. What's up, brother Emmanuel Heath? It's a good brother right there. You said reach out to Will. Smith is like the second most common last name in America, fool. I got 2 of the most common last names. 2 of the 3. Williams, Smith, and Brown are the 3 most common last names. And my last name is Brown. And my mama's family, my mother's like, her family further back were Smiths. And I found out my dad's family further back is Smith. I don't have thoughts on former players commenting on current players. The only reason why former players are even in the room to talk basketball is to hate on the current crop of players. Let me tell y'all this for the people that may be a little younger than me. I just notice patterns. You dig? I've been a basketball fan since the 80s. Real close basketball fan. Magic, prime time. You dig? I remember listening to there were no real sports shows like that in the 80s. The 80s, you just had the post-game report, and then the sports was over with. That's why there wasn't this obsessive level of fanboyism back in the 80s. They didn't really have narratives around players. They didn't have narratives. Damn. That ambulance going to get somebody. Nigga. But the Smiths, I lost what was it? I lost what I was talking. Oh yeah, the players. The players back in the 80s, I remember like during the halftime report, they would like bring, like when the Lakers won the championship, Dr. J had just retired, and they would have like Dr. J, and like other players from the 70s commenting on players from the 80s. And there was always like, the 80s, the game is getting a little faster. Back in my day, the game was a little tougher. It was less teams. So, in the 80s, it's cool, but it ain't like the 70s. Then I got to the 90s. That's when SportsCenter got real big, and SportsCenter became, guy had a lot of influence over sports. And he started having all these players commenting on NBA on TNT halftime report. And by then, you started to get players from the 80s commenting on players from the 90s. And so you'd have, people like Bill Walton. He was like the main hater of the 90s. Bill Walton and like these other players from the 80s and 70s. You know what they would say? They would say this 90s game is soft. It's not as tough as it was in the 70s and 80s. These players in the 90s are not as skilled as the players in the 70s and 80s. There's more teams in the 90s. So that's why the league is watered down. The 80s were better. Cool. So I get to college. I'm in the 2000s now. I get to college. I start college September 1999, the year the Lakers won a championship in 2000. The Lakers were in the 2000s. 2001, 2002, 2003. You know what I hear? Players today ain't as tough as the players in the 90s. By now, Charles Barkley's retired. And Charles Barkley, him and Kenny Smith were on NBA on TNT. And all they talked about when the Lakers, they play cool with Shaq now. They play cool about Kobe now. But back in the 2000s, not so much Kenny Smith, but Charles Barkley and them other retired players, man, players from right now, they soft. They're not as tough as they was in the 90s. They're not as skilled as they were in the 90s. And you know what I realized then? I said now, I was like 25 years old. But I've really been paying close attention to basketball since I was 5. So I was like, okay, I heard this shit in the 80s. I heard this shit in the 90s. And I'm hearing it now. So guess what? I drew the conclusion that maybe these players are paid to come and hate on new players to convince me that what I'm seeing in front of me isn't the greatest shit ever. Maybe that's how the NBA markets itself. It pays old players to shit on new players. So why did I say all that? I don't ever give a shit about what any of the retired players have to say about any current player. The only reason why they're getting a mic put in front of their face is so that they can hate on the new current player. And me being, I'm getting my gray whiskers now. Y'all see this shit, nigga? I'm getting this gray shit, nigga. The gray shit, nigga. That mean I'm in my 40s. That mean I gotta be different than the people that was in their 40s when I was in my 20s. Because when I was in my 20s, all the niggas in their 40s did was hate on the niggas in their 20s. That's all they did. And I said, you know what? When I get in my 40s, I'm not going to be that nigga. He said that Dr. Valentine beard. Fuck you, nigga. But I'm not going to be that dude, Now I'm still going to speak up for my times, To me, Kobe's the greatest player I've ever seen play skill-wise. Magic Johnson's always going to be my favorite player of all time. Magic's always going to be my favorite because I got introduced to him when I was a child. And the Lakers won championships in front of my 5-year-old self and my 8-year-old self. And I had good times with my mom and my dad when the Lakers won championships. So those fond memories will always be in my heart. Kobe, until I see otherwise, is the most skilled player ever. The greatest as far as doing everything across the board on the court. Not just points, rebounds, and assists to you dummy niggas. It's way more to basketball than that. I'm talking footwork, the ability to use both hands, scoring at both levels, high defensive intensity. Kobe was making all NBA first team defense well into his 30s, nigga. Most niggas stop making first team defense once they get into their 30s. Kobe was still making all NBA first team defense when he was like 33, nigga, 32. So Kobe does everything. But at the same time, when I look at this new basketball, They didn't hoop like this when I hooped. You know what I mean? These niggas now, these NBA is just better now. Period. Don't ever let them niggas from the 90s try to make you say the NBA sucked in the 90s. Let me tell y'all this. NBA basketball in the 90s sucked. I said it. I know because I was there. And why you niggas always talking shit about James Harden? He had a bad... James Harden is a great player. He's not that alpha guy, but that's nothing these sports shows do. They got you niggas just don't like it. Nobody but two niggas. The NBA lets you... This NBA announcers let you like LeBron James. They allow you niggas to like Steph Curry. Then they're going to force them white boys down your throat, Luka and Jokic. And then every other nigga they just shit on. That's all these sports do is shit on niggas. And you niggas can say everything wrong with James Harden's game. But you can't tell me two things that he added to the NBA that wasn't there before he got there. I can name you a few things James Harden gave the NBA that wasn't there before he got there that all the players are imitating. And that's the problem. You niggas can sparse every player's game except for LeBron's. And I ain't talking about everybody in specific. I'm talking about in general. LeBron is the only player that is off touch. You can't really break down his game. But everyone else, Giannis too. They don't let you break down Giannis' game. They don't let you break down Jokic's game or Luka. They hands off. But James Harden is giving the game so much. But all you niggas is talk about what he don't do. That's why I stopped doing basketball talk. I like talking about the game. Like, people over here talking about something. Oh, the Grizzlies, Ja Morant must not be that good. The Grizzlies are still winning. Shit, all right. Yeah, because the Grizzlies got a good team. This is only the second round. You might be able to get a few early round playoff wins without Ja Morant, but you ain't winning the championship without that nigga, I tell you that much. The Pistons without Ja Morant, no. They're not a championship team. But they are a championship team with him. Draymond lost confidence in the shot. Which is not a bad idea. The nigga, Draymond Green shoot like he got a backpack on. But Draymond got to get in the gym and work on that. Like, one thing about a jump shot, every player in the NBA is 1,000 jumpers away, 1,000 jumpers a day away from having a really good jump shot. Yeah. The public don't understand, most of the public don't understand anything about the NBA. Not only the NBA as a business, the NBA as a game and how the game works. Like, you ever listen to these niggas talk basketball and all they can talk about is fire the coach? The coach ain't no good. The coach ain't no good. Anytime somebody tell me a coach ain't no good, I say, okay, what sets are he running? What sets do he run don't work? And what sets do you think he should run as a coach? Offensively and defensively, schematic wise. And every time I ask that question, you know what people's answers is? No, man, I just feel he a bad coach, man. Why did I say that? How do you know if a coach is good or not if you don't know if he's running plays or not? How do you know if a coach is good or not if you can't break down the sets that he's running and the amount of... See, I can call Steve Nash a bad coach. You know why? You know why I could call Steve Nash a bad coach? Is because when the game starts, and if you guys look at my motherfucking Instagram, I told you niggas the truth. I think it was the first playoff. It was something I put up back in January, but I reposted it on Instagram like last week. What, like during the first round? Brooklyn starts the game out, and they run some kind of a flex type system. What is flex? Flex is usually when your guard comes down and your big sets a down screen for your forward, for either one of your guards or forwards, come brush off the screen for the open shot. If the shot's not there, the big turns around and shows for the pass, and then Durant flares out to the side, and they run that play usually to start the game. But they don't run that play anymore the rest of the game. The rest of the game is your turn, my turn basketball. And in the playoffs, you can't win your turn, my turn basketball. You have to be able to run plays that spread the floor. The NBA is a game of inches. It's a game of geometry. But ESPN talk to you niggas like it's a game of stats. Stats are the end result of the geometry that created the opportunity for the stat to be had. Do I need to say that again? Do I need to say that again? Stats are the end result of the geometry that created the opportunity for that stat to be had. Basketball is geometry. That's why the Lakers ran a triangle offense. You're cutting a 360-degree half court, 46 by 45 feet of wood into pieces of triangles. And when you do that, you create floor spacing for your star players to get at least 2 or 3 dribbles alone to create a shot for themselves. So when you watch Phoenix, when you watch Boston, when you watch Memphis, you see them run sets. Steph Curry ain't open by happenstance. Klay Thompson ain't open by happenstance. It's the action happening away from the ball creating the opportunity. And that's the part that they don't break down on ESPN. ESPN is sports entertainment, not sports knowledge. But they leave you niggas thinking that you know something about basketball. Hell yeah, Udoka's a good coach. Udoka's a great coach. Look at this play right now. Okay, Curry got the ball. Ooh. What's that nigga's name on Memphis, number 21? Tyus. Y'all watching the game? That nigga Tyus, number 21 on Memphis, that nigga look like a Legend of Zelda character. Like, it's something about the nigga I don't like. He like the kind of nigga that play video games all day. Like, I'm surprised he's still in the NBA. Because I remember when Tyus first got drafted, I was like, this nigga look like he played too many video games. Here comes Draymond. Look, there they go. Golden State miscommunicating. This is how Golden State lost to Cleveland in Game 7. Trying to go for the home run pass instead of just slowing the game down and running the offense. Draymond thought Poole was going to cut. Poole hesitated. Turnover. Ooh. Good jump hook, Jaren Jackson. I remember when Kobe dunked on your daddy, nigga. Christmas Day game, 1999. Go look that up. Kobe dunks on Jaren Jackson. Body to body. That was Kobe's first game back after a broken hand that he suffered during the preseason. Phil Jackson's first year with the Lakers. Okay, Tyus got the ball. Tyus Jones. Okay, nah. Look, another turnover. Going for the home run. Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson looked like that nigga that wasn't raised around niggas, but tries to get a nigga walk, but he corny as fuck. Klay Thompson looked like he still wears baggy jeans. Like, I ain't talking about these new baggy. I'm talking 2007 baggy. All right, Tyus Jones with the ball. Poole. Okay. Jaren Jackson, this nigga working Draymond. We lucky he missed it. He lucky he missed it. Here we go. Curry dancing one-on-one. There we go. Out to Wiggins. Hit it. Okay. See, this is basketball. But Klay Thompson looked like the nigga. He looked like that nigga that every like he go. Klay Thompson looks like the nigga that don't like black girls, not because he thinks they're ugly, but because every time he shoot his shot, he get clowned when he get turned down. He look like that nigga. But he's 6'7", so girls give him play. But if Klay Thompson was 5'7", he'd be that nigga that hate nigga. He'd be that nigga that hate black women, cause that nigga so goddamn corny. Ooh, what happened? That nigga Poole got knocked the fuck out. God damn. That nigga Wave stopped. That nigga hit so hard his wave. That nigga Wave stopped waving and they just stopped. His waves was waving, then he got hit and they just stopped. Nigga, if Klay was 5'7", that nigga, ooh, that's a hard hit. Ooh, that nigga got it. Yeah, that can give you a concussion right there. That nigga neck snapped. But is he still playing? All right, he's still playing. All right, cool. But Klay Thompson looked like a nigga that worked retail. Klay Thompson like that creepy ass grown man that worked at 3 Day Soup Broker. That's what he looked like. He's just this corny ass light skinned nigga that worked at 3 Day Soup Broker. All right, it's a timeout. He say like he get excited about pizza rolls. That shit was funny. Yeah. Y'all want to do this more? Get down, talk basketball, do some live commentary, cause I got some shit to do later on. But I had like an hour. I got like an hour more time. I'm like, let me just go in here and see if these niggas want to talk basketball with me while the game is on. I love basketball, but I hate the NBA. Weird, huh? I don't listen to basketball like. I listen to music when I watch basketball. I listen to music. I would be listening to music now by y'all on my phone. I do got my laptop right here. Do I know Tony Bland? Hell yeah, I know Tony Bland. Yeah. I went to middle school and high school with Tony Bland. Overwright Middle School, Westchester High School. He gave us our first national championship in 1998. I was class of 99. Last time I saw Tony, I used to see him like around at All-Star game, at All-Star weekend. I used to see him around. But I haven't seen Tony in shit, well over 10 years. Yeah. The niggas say I want the ABA to make coming. No, I love NBA basketball. I love what happens on the court. I don't like anything else about the NBA. I don't like Adam Silver. He's a liberal style racist. He looks like Dr. Evil. Adam Silver looks like he sucks his thumb and sticks his other thumb in his ass. I don't like Adam Silver at all. Adam Silver looks like he laughs like anybody that closes their mouth and they laugh is evil. Y'all see what they did with the NBA during the lockout? I saw that shit. I had players that used to email me the memos during them NBA lockout meetings. I got the paperwork, nigga. They made it basically, the NBA contracts, they made it basically to where you get 2, maybe 3 max deals. You get 2 mid-level deals, meaning around 60, 70 million. And everyone else gets paid league minimum. They did that on purpose. NBA salaries are actually, if you look at it, lower than they were in the 2000s and the late 90s. They're lower now because in the late before the first lockout, you could have a bunch of niggas with a bunch of money on the roster. The salary cap didn't mean shit. And then when they did the 99 lockout, they made it to where the salary cap was a double tax if you went over the cap. But teams like the Lakers made so much goddamn money, they went over the cap all the time, so you can sign high quality role players, and high quality role players still got $6, $7, $8 million deals back in the 2000s. But what they did was with this last lockout, they made it a hard cap, so you couldn't go over the hard cap. So that basically made it to where you got a player like JaVale McGee, who's a championship level center, a great role player. He should be getting paid $10, $12, $15 million a year. But because the way NBA salaries are structured, you're not going to give $15 million to a center that you're only going to play 25 to 30 minutes a game. So he gets these $2 million deals, $1 million deals, when he should be getting $8, $9 million deals if the salary cap was structured the way it was before the last lockout. So overall, and then another thing they did was, with this Supermax thing, it made it to where player contracts are in the hands of white reporters. So Klay Thompson, because he didn't make the All-NBA team the year he hurt his knee, he should have been on the All-NBA. He should have been on the All-NBA first team. But he didn't make none of the 3 All-NBA teams in 2019, and it shorted him $40 million out of his salary. So they created that lockout to save money, yet at the same time, they gave him these advertisement deals. You look at the game now, you got sponsorships on the court, on the jersey, 15 sponsorships on the basket, another sponsorship on the out-of-bounds line, sponsorships all over the goddamn place. Back in the day, the sponsor role used to only be that backdrop you see on the other side of the court. That was it. You didn't have State Farm behind the basket, Kia on the basket, and then like goddamn Vista print on the jersey. These NBA teams, and then they got that $24 billion TV deal. Every team gets $100 million before the season starts off the TV deal, not including their own TV deal. So the money got stupid, and they cut the player. It used to be a revenue split where players got 57% of the revenue. What they did during the lockout, they tried to make it a 50-50 split, but they made it a 52% split. So now players get 5% of the revenue split now than they did before the lockout. And the crazy part about it is the NBA is making quadruple what it made before the lockout. So when you see a player right now with a $240 million contract, if that same deal was made under the previous collective bargaining agreement, that contract based on revenue split would be about a $500 to $600 million deal. But the NBA didn't want to pay no niggas no $600 million. So they created a lockout in 2011 to cut player revenue because they knew the 2016 TV deal was coming. And another thing the NBA did, it used to be against the NBA's Board of Ethics rules to advertise hard liquor. They'd advertise beer and wine, but in the previous collective bargaining agreement, the NBA couldn't advertise Hennessy, they couldn't advertise tequila, they couldn't advertise any hard liquor. After the lockout, now they're getting these hard liquor contracts, so you know them niggas is really paying to advertise. So, okay, man, that was a good play. So that's how I go. Here comes the nigga Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole look like a nigga that used to sing for the Spinners. All right, brush screen. You see how they run the action? That's a design play. Look at the floor spread. The Warriors have 3 players on one side of the court, 4 players. They put Curry in there. That way Curry could either come up, flash up high for the shot, he can go baseline, and there are going to always be 2 screeners for him to get open. Okay, here comes a screen from Looney. That was a push. Ooh. Dang, Curry missing these niggas. See, this is why the Warriors needed Durant. When the playoffs come, Curry's legs, Curry and Thompson, them shots don't be falling like they was back in January. You can look at Curry's legs. Curry's legs are shot. Curry better go get some of that LeBron juice. That nigga's legs are shot. That's why it's in their best interest to end the series early so they can get some rest. Because Curry's legs, shots come from your legs. Curry's missing because he has no legs in his shot. Hopefully he's not shot. Hopefully he just needs 3 or 4 consistent days off. You're right, last name first. And our closers, KD was a closer. And I'm the type person, my whole life, I hated Scottie Pippen, right? I never liked Scottie Pippen. Saw him play all throughout the 90s. Did not like Scottie Pippen. The nigga looked like a angry-nosed Muppet. Never liked Scottie Pippen. And I was so happy when my Lakers beat them motherfuckers in 2000, the Blazers, because I could not stand Scottie Pippen's nose. If anybody needed a Kardashian nose surgery, it's Scottie Pippen. Well, anyway, letting you guys understand my disdain for Scottie Pippen, the player. The problem is nobody appreciates the Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was necessary for Michael Jordan to be Jordan. They really were yin and yang. Scottie Pippen was every bit as good at his job as Michael Jordan was at his job. Teams need players that can get you there, and teams need closers. It's very rare you get a player that is really great at both for an extended period of time. Dwayne Wade was great at both for a while. Kobe, of course. Jordan, yeah. Because Jordan was definitely the closer. One of the greatest closers of all time. But Pippen controlled the pace of the game. And games in the NBA are won through pace. So it makes Kyrie Irving so great. Kyrie Irving is a closer. Kyrie Irving can't get you there. He don't have the legs. He's going to get hurt. Kyrie Irving's not going to get you there. But he'll close for you. Kevin Durant could get you there and close at one point, but looking at him since he's come back from this last surgery, people forget. Kevin Durant's now had 2 major knee surgery. He had a major knee surgery and an Achilles. Kevin Durant ain't the same since he got that Achilles. People act like you're supposed to just come back from an Achilles and be. Kevin Durant ain't the same player. I saw it this season. He started out great, but then when he started to get around like March, you started to see it. Kevin Durant's legs was shot around March. You know, all that Kyrie missing, James Harden not being there. They're not running any kind of system. It's just iso ball. Kevin Durant can't get you there anymore. But he can definitely close. So at the end of the day, why did I say that? Teams need both. Like LeBron can get you there. LeBron can get you there, but that nigga can't close. I don't give a fuck about your stats. I was there when I saw them niggas lose to the Orlando Magic in 2009 when LeBron only took 2 shots a quarter. That Cleveland Cavaliers team was good enough to win a fucking championship. The only thing the Cleveland Cavaliers needed was for LeBron to play the 4th quarter the way he played the 1st quarter, and the Cavaliers could have been champions in 2008, 9, and 10. But no, that didn't happen. He got you there, but when it came time to win, passing it to you, homie. So Dwayne Wade, had a couple injuries, knee injuries. So when LeBron and Wade got together, that was a perfect combination. And Bosh, don't forget Bosh. Because Bosh was another player that can get you there. But Bosh turned into did one of the greatest metamorphoses I've ever seen. I've never seen a star in the prime of his career go from being one of the best star players in the league to the absolute best role player in the league. That motherfucker hit big timely shots. He did everything timely, Chris Bosh. His numbers wouldn't be big, but he'd always hit that shot that could bust momentum. He'd always get that rebound that was critical and that offensive rebound that was critical. Remember, he got the offensive rebound that led to Ray Allen's shot. So, LeBron got you there, and Dwayne Wade closed for you. In Cleveland, LeBron got you there, and Kyrie closed for you. Like I said before, Kyrie can't get you there, but Kyrie can close that motherfucker for sure. And both style players are necessary. I don't see it as a judgment, good or bad. I look at it as it just is. Like I remember watching basketball back in the 80s and the 90s. Dominique Wilkins was, fuck what they tell you, Dominique Wilkins was just as good as Michael Jordan in the 80s. Yes, he was. If Michael Jordan dropped 46, Dominique dropped 42. I remember watching this shit because back in the 80s, I had cable in the 90s. This is before NBA League Pass. Atlanta had TBS and Chicago had WGN. So you could watch every Bulls game all season on WGN from LA. And you could watch every Hawks game. So I remember watching. We would be watching the Hawks. This nigga Dominique would drop 39. Then we flip over to the Bulls. This nigga Jordan would drop 43. So don't let the niggas rewrite history. The difference was Jordan got Phil Jackson and a role player as dominant as Scottie Pippen. Dominique never got a Scottie Pippen. That's the difference between Jordan's legacy and Wilkins' legacy. Dominique never got a Scottie Pippen. His next best player was Doc fucking Rivers. And 5'8" Spud Webb. And Kevin Willis. He never had no damn... Dominique Wilkins had no one close to as good as Scottie Pippen. Not close. He had Lenny Wilkins, good coach. Phil Jackson was better. But Lenny Wilkins was a good coach. So he had a coach, but he never had a Pippen. That's the difference between Jordan and Pippen. Fuck these rewrite narratives. I was there watching that shit as a kid. I told you I'm a basketball fiend, nigga. I'm not a nigga that watched Sports Center and gonna regurgitate some shit that Stephen A. Smith said. No, nigga, I'm the nigga that saw it when it happened. So, nah, we ain't about to play that shit. And then Dominique Wilkins broke his leg, had that major leg injury. Magic retired. Bird retired. Isaiah retired. And so Jordan had to lead to himself. Barkley never had anyone as good as Scottie Pippen on the squad. Neither did Olajuwon. Neither did Ewing. Neither did Reggie Miller. All them niggas was their next best player. And we can't even forget about Horace Grant. That nigga Horace Grant was one of the greatest role-playing power forwards ever. Hit every shot 20 feet within, knew how to run an offense. It's a reason why Horace Grant went to 3 straight finals with the Bulls and then went to the Orlando Magic and went back to another finals with Shaq in the Orlando Magic the next year. It's the reason why teams Horace Grant's on are very successful. It's the reason why when the Lakers had that three-peat, the year they went 15-1, that was the year Horace Grant started at power forward. The triangle never ran better. Real talk, Bruce, Jordan was the Jay-Z of the NBA. I've said that plenty of times. Both their careers took off when the real niggas was done with it. When the real niggas were either dead or done with it, Magic had AIDS, so he couldn't do nothing else with it. Jordan dominated. And dominated he did. But remember, the NBA added 6 new teams from 1989 to 1995. When you add that many new teams, 6 times 12 is 72. That's 72 niggas that shouldn't be in the NBA. All right? Think about it like that. It's 72 niggas that would not have been in the NBA just last year. All right? So when things get spread around like that, ooh, Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is like he sell cocaine, don't he? I'll never do cocaine, but if I ever did cocaine in my life, I'd only buy it from Dylan Brooks. That nigga look like he got a drug deal set up after this game is over with. Oh, and they in Oakland too, nigga? Man, this nigga Dylan Brooks about to. This nigga got a pound on a. He got a kilo on a team bus right now. He about to head his ass over to Oakland as soon as this game's over with, and he gonna meet up with some nigga in a goddamn Chevy Impala '96. All right, okay. See, miss. You gotta make that, Clay. Gotta make that, Clay. It's an important game. You don't want to go back to Memphis in Game 7. Look at them. These niggas are struggling. These niggas are struggling. Ramon James. Pretty good team and great team are way different things. There's a lot of pretty good teams out there. Pretty good teams don't win championships. Great teams do. Pretty good teams get kicked out in the second round of the playoffs. Mookie Blaylock was cool. Got a lot of steals. Great defender. But he had a very unreliable jump shot. It was on sometime, off other times. Plastic Man, offensively, great. Defensively, great. Stacey Augman, out of Pasadena, California. Offensively inconsistent. Scottie Pippen's going to be Scottie Pippen every night. Every night. I remember I used to watch them Bulls games back in the 90s. The Bulls would be up, just say, it'll be the third quarter, 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Bulls up maybe 1 point. And I hated the Bulls. I hated the Bulls. My brother liked the Bulls. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm like, fuck the Bulls. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, Michael Jordan going to the bench now. All right, cool. That means the other team should make a run. And then Michael gonna have, when he come back, they're gonna be up, they're gonna be down 8 or 9 points or whatever. Man, Jordan go to the bench. This nigga Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant to get to running that motherfucking triangle, nigga. You got John Paxson in the corner. You got in one corner Craig Hodges in the other corner, nigga. BJ Armstrong, all these niggas can hit open jump shots. None of them can really do much off the dribble. But they catch and shoot. John Paxson, Craig Hodges, nigga, that's a bucket. Them niggas get to, then it'll be, what was that white, this back when, the nigga with the lint in his beard, what was his name? With the funny looking ass, y'all know what I'm talking about, the funny looking ass jump shots. I'm talking about the first 3 championship Bulls team. Bill Cartwright. That nigga coming in, and the nigga Scotty get to running that triangle, nigga. That ball get to moving, woo, 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 bucket. John Paxson, bucket. Scottie Pippen kicks it out to Winning to Cartwright. Cartwright kicks it back to motherfucking Horace Grant. Horace Grant kicked that motherfucker back out to BJ Armstrong, bucket. Now it's 7 minutes left in the game. Jordan come back in. When he went to the bench, they was up 1. When he come back in, they up 8. And this would be every fucking night. The difference was Jordan could go to the bench and he had a player that could run the offense and still get buckets while he was resting. Versus when Reggie Miller went to the bench, the Indiana Pacers went cold. Indiana in the NBA games are won in 2-minute spurts. So when the star player goes, it's a big difference when your star player goes to the bench and the bench can keep the lead or keep the game at an even pace. Versus when you're somebody like Dominique Wilkins, where you go to the bench, Mookie Blaylock going to the bench too. Now we got some nigga that's gonna be bagging groceries playing point guard next year, Stacey on the court along with Stacey Augman, Kevin Willis, and a bunch of nobodies. No points for 4 minutes. Now Dominique Wilkins, when he went to the bench, he was up 3. Now when he come back in, he's down 6. That's the difference. Ooh, these niggas in Memphis are not playing. It's a nigga named Baines. He look like a Nation of Islam nigga too. That nigga like he sell bean pies. That nigga Baines on the Grizzlies. That nigga gonna probably wear a bow tie in the post game. Man, you better hit that, Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins look like he was raised in a foster home, don't he? That nigga Andrew Wiggins look like he was raised in a foster home. Oh, turnover by Cocaine Brooks. Foster home with a dunk. That's right, Efeezy. E40. Yeah. All right, here come Tyus. Tyus look like he ready to play Halo 3, or the newest Halo when the game is over with. Here come Cocaine Brooks. Cocaine Brooks with a missed layup. Draymond dribbling the ball. Looked like he had a backpack on his back. Curry. Bucket. Oh, he made one. Okay, timeout. Smart timeout. That's what you do as a coach. That's what Tyronn Lue did to them in Game 7 of the finals when the Cavaliers won in Golden State. Every time the Warriors made a shot or 2 shots in a row, call timeout. Bust that momentum. Because you don't want that to turn into because if that 5-0 run turns into a 12-0 run, the game's over with. You got to call timeout to bust momentum. Man, Wiggins' facial hair, this nigga right here, yeah. Wiggins are like Samuel Lamont Jackson, nigga. Is that a Samuel L. Jackson? I'm going to call that nigga a Wiggins Samuel Lamont Jackson with that nappy-ass beard. Get that Django beard out of here, nigga. This motherfucker. And look at that nigga Kevon Looney. Kevon Looney on the Warriors. That nigga looked like he was one of those. What do you call him? He looked like the last Pullman Porter alive. That nigga James only looks like a Pullman Porter. You think the Grizzlies going home? All right, we'll see. But yeah, that's why I don't take too much Scottie Pippen slander. Because I'm going to tell you, I spent my whole basketball life while Scottie Pippen was my least favorite player as a child. When I was in high school, middle school, in college, as long as Scottie Pippen played, he was my least favorite player. I hated Scottie Pippen more than I hated Larry Bird. And that's saying a lot because I'm a Laker fan. I hated motherfucking Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Bill Laimbeer. Bill Laimbeer is still my least favorite of all time, but I did not like the Pistons. I did not like Isaiah Thomas. They only beat my Lakers because Magic got hurt. If Magic didn't get hurt, he would have been a 6-time champion. But him and Scott got hurt when stupid ass Pat Riley took the Lakers up to Santa Barbara. They had 11 days off because the Lakers were 11-0 in the 1988. And the Lakers were 11-0 in the 1989 playoffs, and they had something like 10 days off between their last game and the start of the finals. So Pat Riley's stupid ass take the Lakers up to UC Santa Barbara, runs these hard-ass practices. Magic pulls his hamstring in practice. Lakers get swept. So I don't like Isaiah, and I did not like Scottie Pippen. But at the end of the day, I got to give them two motherfuckers the credit that they deserve. Because they earned it. I did not like them niggas because they were that fucking great. That's why. If they sucked, I wouldn't have had time to not like them. This nigga Surrey Curry is 7 for 21. God damn. Man, the Warriors better hope they win this game. All right, Tyus Jones, Legend of Zelda with the ball. Been defended by Andre Wiggins. Sticky Wiggins. All right, Cocaine Brooks to Legend of Zelda. Curry, good closeout. Jackson, it's out of bounds on Jackson. Yeah, it's out of bounds on Jackson. It's out of bounds. Cocaine Brooks look like he mad he missed that shot. Curry, put your mouthpiece in, nigga, and play ball. Don't do no dumb shit. Here we go. Screen by. Oh, that could have been moving screen. You got the ISO on. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, that's good offense. That's good offense. Anytime you can get a player in the short corner, it's going to open up the paint. And Looney was in the short corner when he made that pass to Draymond Green. All right. Okay, they're running offense. It looks like, okay. All right. Let's see. See, look at Curry look like a step slow. Tell y'all niggas, appreciate the players while they're here. James Harden, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, they golden days are behind them. LeBron's golden days been behind him since. Yeah, that nigga, the NBA just propping that nigga up now. But even while here, appreciate these niggas while they still here. Curry looks like he started his downside is here. Curry's not completely down, but Steph Curry's prime is definitely over. You can look and tell by his legs. Curry's prime is done. So appreciate this nigga while he here. Clay might have time because Clay had 2 years off. So we'll see we won't know how Clay's going to be till about the middle of the next season. All right, cool. Nice pass. Oh, shit. Good shot, Looney. Looney looking like a Pullman Porter. Steven Adams looking like Aquaman out there. Screen by Aquaman. Legend of Zelda with in the middle of the paint. Okay. Good shot, Legend of Zelda. Zelda got a Legend of Zelda with a gold cartridge. Now you got Cocaine Brooks guarding Steph Curry. All right, switch. Legend of Zelda. Oh, that's a push. Oh, there we go, Steph. Okay. Maybe Steph was saving his legs for now, man. Okay. He said, Dwan said, I'm done. No, I'm not, nigga. I'm not done, nigga. All right, let's go. Okay, Tyus. Oh, pushing it back. Okay, good rebound, Steph. Okay, here we go. We got Nation of Islam guarding Steph Curry. Brother Baines. Nation of Islam guarding Steph Curry. Let's see what happens. Let's see if Chef Curry can get his niggas some pork. I got to switch. Short. That's legs. Okay, good rebound, Looney. Don't do nothing stupid, Steph. What did I do? Okay, lucky. He did something stupid, but he got lucky. Bad shot. That's a good shot. But Steph shot 2 bad shots. I could tell Steph is frustrated. Steph is frustrated at his performance. He knows he can play better. But his legs are shot, man. I'm telling y'all, his legs are shot. But good, that's another good timeout. Hey, this is where you need Ja Morant. See, people that are saying that the Memphis is better without Ja Morant, this is the moment where, okay, the Golden State has your offense on lock, right? You're not able to run these brush screens. They got your plays predicted. They got them timed out. So when you're ready to make your reads, it's somebody already there in the passing lanes. This is where having a superstar is important. This is where you need Ja Morant. This is where Ja Morant might be 3 for 27. But in a moment like this, he's going to hit that big three. He's going to get that big dunk. He's going to do something big time to stop Golden State's momentum. That's where you need superstars. Yeah. That's a good point, Reggie White Uncensored. Harden's going to have to learn how to catch and shoot because Harden's on the downside of his career. He's done. No, he's not done. But Harden's days as a dominant superstar, those days are over with. He's going to have to either come off the bench, which I doubt he does, but he's going to have to really learn catch and shoot and play in a catch and shoot system. Because them days of the NBA targeted Harden this past year with them fouls. A lot of times he got fouled they didn't call. They targeted him. So he's going to have to learn how to catch and shoot. All right, we got Jaren Jackson with the ball. The Legend of Zelda. Okay. Left-handed hook shot. That's a good shot, Jaren Jackson. I'm impressed. Okay. It might not work out this season, but Jaren Jackson shooting left-handed hooks. That may be good for him long-term in his career. If you get that shot all the way down. Don't shoot it, nigga. Told that nigga not to shoot it. Draymond Green. That nigga shoot like he got scuba diving gear on. Oh, that's a foul. When people say that without fouls, James Harden earns his fouls. It's not like people act like Harden people just fouled him because they just felt like fouling him. No. James Harden earned every free throw that he got. The way he shifts his defenders and then he gets on your hip and uses his body to get you off of him, to lay it up, he forces you to foul him because he's that good. Luka do the same shit, but they give Luka his fouls. Luka's whole game is a fucking watered down version of James Harden's game. But Luka gets his fouls called for him. James Harden don't. Oh, he shot that? Swing that. Okay, good shot, Steph. Okay, yeah, this game is over. This series is over. This is good for them. Oh, got 3-point play coming. This is good for Golden State. This is good because Steph needs. Yeah, Steph needs his legs is done. He needs that nigga Steph need acupuncture on his legs. That nigga better go see Su Ming Chung or some shit and get his acupuncture on and get a massage while he at it. Because that nigga's legs is done. Yeah, the Nets, you can't. Yeah, that team is built. That Nets team is just poorly constructed. You're right. I think Brandon Ingram is close to his shit. I think Brandon Ingram got about 2, maybe 3 more years of developing as a player before we see what he really is. I don't know because players surprise me. I thought the Tatum that we're seeing right now, I thought he would have been here 3 years ago. So you never know. I thought the Tatum that we saw today, I thought that would be consistently every night 3 years ago, man. But he didn't really grow at the pace that I thought he could. But at the same time, in 2010, I never thought James Harden would be as good as he was. I thought James Harden would just be a really good. I thought James Harden might be maybe a 2 or 3 time All-Star, maybe, a good shooting guard, a really good shooting guard. I had no clue, and I'm here in LA. I used to see James Harden when he was young. I had no clue that nigga turned out to be that. Same with Russell Westbrook. I had no clue. And I remember seeing Russell Westbrook at UCLA practice with the pros. I remember Russell Westbrook when he first got to UCLA as a player. I would see him in the men's gym, and he'd be out there competing against, this back when Baron Davis was with Golden State. He'd be competing against Baron Davis, competing against Andre Miller and Morris Stoudemire be out there, Kevin Garnett, Carmelo Anthony be out there. And I remember the Russell Westbrook that got to UCLA at that time. He was good, but I was thinking, okay, yeah, this nigga's definitely gonna be in the NBA for. I mean, I'm thinking he's definitely gonna have to be in college for about 3 or 4 years before he go to the NBA. He's NBA athletic, but he ain't got an NBA game yet. That nigga went to the NBA the next year. I thought he was making a mistake. No, he wasn't. People always say 0 rings, like that means something. Yeah, 0 rings for Harden. Yeah, great. Name how many times James Harden played on a team that was good enough to win a championship. And go from there. They were good enough last year in Brooklyn, but what happened? Giannis hurt Kyrie, and I think on purpose. I think on purpose. And James Harden pulled his hamstring in the playoffs. If James Harden wasn't injured last year, I think they still could have won a championship with the Kyrie injury. But James Harden pulled his hamstring. He never played on teams that were. He played for Mike D'Antoni, man. Mike D'Antoni's fool's gold. Mike D'Antoni's systems inflate numbers for point guards. They don't win championships. You niggas don't know that yet? You can't win a championship. The one year Houston had a chance to win a championship was the year they had Carmelo Anthony and Chris Paul. All Mike D'Antoni had to do was run 4, maybe 5 post-up plays a quarter for Carmelo. And you do that because in the playoffs, the other team at some point is going to get your number. You got to have some secondary offense to go to when they get your primary offense down. But D'Antoni said no. And so they went about sabotaging Carmelo Anthony's career with all that negative propaganda they were putting out. And then they cut Carmelo Anthony. And what happened when they got to the playoffs? In the playoffs, them niggas went 0 for 25 in Game 7. Had no secondary. All the shots weren't falling, and they had no secondary offense to go to when those shots weren't falling. Should have kept Carmelo. But for the most part, James Harden was never really on a team good enough to even win a championship. Yeah. And Daryl Morey is trash. Daryl Morey fucked that Houston squad up. And I'll tell you where Daryl Morey fucked the Houston squad up. Houston had Omer Rasheed, and James Harden got to the motherfucking deep in the playoffs with him. They didn't need Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard had a terrible year with the Lakers. He was coming off of a back injury. But Daryl Morey, based on that fucking stupid-ass number system, gave Dwight Howard all that money, got rid of Zeke, who was a better fit for James Harden's game, and so James Harden never got what he really needed in Houston, and that was knockdown shooters and defenders. That's what James Harden needed. James Harden needed better perimeter shooting, better than Trevor Ariza, and I love Trevor Ariza. He went to Westchester with me, but you can't depend on that nigga to shoot consistently for you. They had the salary cap to get him that. If they kept a Sheik in place and went after 2 more quality role players, preferably wings, James Harden would probably be a champion. Or if them stupid ass motherfuckers in Oklahoma City didn't let $80 million get in between them and keeping James Harden, Oklahoma City, if they were together for another 2 or 3 years, would have won a championship in spite of Scott Brooks' ineptitude. Here we go. Anytime somebody go around thinking that they know why you're saying something, they projection, sir. They say you can't because you from West Coast. That's small-minded thinking. Don't ascribe that little brain shit to me, man. I'm smarter than that. Far more sophisticated to cap because someone's from my coast. Fuck is wrong with you? I love LA. Don't mean I make excuses for it. I'm talking about James Harden's game. You don't have to agree. That's fine. That nigga James Harden was never on a squad good enough to win a championship. He always lost to a better team. He lost to Golden State. Better team. Lost to the Miami Heat in the finals. Better team. Them niggas was young. They stayed together and played it out again the next year, I'm sure Oklahoma City would have won. Somebody said I dissed Kyrie on Craig Facts. See, that's the thing about when you talk. You can't control the wax in people's ears when they listen. Normal listeners to this channel, what do I always say about Kyrie Irving? Comment section. Delano L, you know. Some nigga in this channel said I dissed Kyrie Irving. Like, I've done whole programs on Kyrie Irving. Are you new to this channel, nigga? Fuck out of here. Just because someone says they'll take one player over a different player doesn't mean you're dissing the other player. If a motherfucker say they like oranges, it don't mean they hate apples, nigga. God damn. I've done whole programs on Kyrie Irving and how he revolutionized the game. Go look up this channel, nigga. Done nothing but compliment Kyrie Irving. I just don't jizz over players. These are fucking basketball players. They're not role models. They're not stars. They're not anything but basketball players. That's it. And you talk about their game from your point of view and you move on. Doesn't matter if you like the player or not. Like I said earlier, I always dislike Scottie Pippen and motherfucking Isaiah Thomas. Not because they were from Chicago, but because I didn't like them. They beat my Lakers. Fuck them. But I'm still objective about their game and how great it is. Isaiah Thomas had the greatest handles of all time as in 1991. As of 1991, yes. Isaiah Thomas had the greatest handles of all time in 1991. By the time you get to the late 90s, Stephon Marbury, Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was a better ball handler in 2001. Then you get to where we are right now, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. I keep wanting to put Steph Curry in that, but he turned the ball over too fucking much. All these niggas dribble have better handle than Isaiah now. The game evolves. Isaiah had the greatest handle of all time at the time he retired. Yes, he did. But the shit Kyrie Irving does with a basketball, Isaiah couldn't do that. Neither could Allen Iverson. Hell, I'd say Tim Hardaway had the best handle of all time by the time you get to 96, 97, nigga, that nigga's handle have surpassed Isaiah's by then. That nigga, that Tim Hardaway handle, nigga. Jamal Crawford. The game has evolved. Kobe, nigga. Kobe's handle. Kobe had a tight handle and could cross your ass over going either direction with either hand. Iverson came up with the Iverson. Kobe stole the Iverson from Iverson and did it better than Allen Iverson. That was before David Stern outlawed that move in 2002. But Kobe's Iverson was better than Iverson's Iverson. Jamal Crawford. I love Isaiah. But Isaiah couldn't do what Jamal Crawford could do with a basketball. Jamal Crawford did so much insane shit with a basketball, it's crazy. This nigga Jamal Crawford would do shit where you be like, what the fuck just happened? And you gotta rewind that. That's why I'm so glad the DVR, the rewindable TV came out during Jamal Crawford's career. Because I done spent plenty of time watching League Pass throughout Jamal Crawford's whole career, having to rewind my TV to see what the fuck that nigga just did with the basketball. Yeah, the game keeps evolving. Man. Yeah, Sham God did have cold handle back in the 90s. Oh yeah, Nick Van Exel's handle was tight. That nigga Nick Van Exel's handle. That nigga. I used to love Nick Van Exel game. Smoke Spitter, not to be misogynistic, but I don't watch no fucking women's basketball, man. You're a good dude, Smoke Spitter. But if you want to piss me off, bring up the WNBA. I don't watch that shit, nigga. Man, if I had a choice between going to a WNBA game and going to a rose garden, I'm going to be smelling roses. I'd do that shit before I had courtside seats at a WNBA game. That nigga said all basketball matters. Man, can we, no disrespect to my brother Reggie White, but can we put together players aren't as physical as the times past? We're playing basketball, not football. This isn't boxing. Basketball players never could fight. Back when they did fight back in the 80s and 90s, them fights sucked. Them niggas never landed their punches. Well, Kareem got that one punch on that white boy. Yeah. That nigga Kermit Washington got Rudy Tomjanovich. Yeah. But back in the 90s and all that shit, go back and look at that Alonzo Mourning versus Larry Johnson fight. That fight sucked. All them fights Charles Oakley was in, them fights were horrible. These niggas play basketball, man. If I want to see some fights, watch some goddamn boxing. Basketball players have always been soft. Even back in the 70s, in the 80s. I was around back then. Them niggas, teams had one enforcer. The reason why teams had enforcers, because they knew the rest of them niggas didn't want to fight. So teams would have some old lumberjack come off the bench and put an elbow in somebody's teeth. That's not basketball. I'm glad they got that shit out the game. These niggas get paid. We pay to see these niggas play. I don't want to see it. And also, you know what else was back in the 80s? Them niggas only played like 10 years, 11 years, and they was done. I'm glad they took that bullshit out. If it was them rules, Kevin Durant's like, what, in his 15th season? That nigga will be retired. Larry Bird was done in his 13th season. Magic, Kareem was like the only one that played like 20 years. Kareem and Robert Parrish. The rest of them niggas in the NBA back then, your prime years were years 4 through 9. Back then, by the time a player reached his 10th year, he was considered old. You see them old niggas back in the 80s and the 90s, when they turned 30, go back and look at them games. These niggas had knee wraps, motherfucking sweat wristbands. They was moving slow. Couldn't break nobody down the dribble no more. I'm glad they took that bullshit out the game. Now niggas can play a longer time and we can enjoy them more. I'm loving the fact, Steph, do you know that if Steph Curry played in the 80s, this would probably be his last season? Durant would have been retired like 3 years ago. LeBron would have been retired like 8 years ago, nigga. Nigga, fuck them old times. Yeah, they did not have advanced medical treatment too. But also, yeah, having every team having one player that wasn't even good enough to be in the NBA, but he only got a job so he can come in and foul the other team's best player real hard. That's stupid. See, that's how terrible the NBA was back then. They had roster space for niggas that weren't even good. All they did was come in and foul niggas. You ain't got roster space for nothing like that now, nigga. If you want to get past the second round in today's NBA game, all 5 players need to be able to shoot. Back then, you only needed 2 niggas that can shoot, 2 niggas that can slash, and you can have either a center or a forward that wasn't shit offensively and still be big time back in the 80s, back in the 90s. Not so much the 80s, but the 90s. You could have a powerful. You could have a front court that didn't get no buckets. As long as you had a good slashing wing and one good shooter and another good defender, you can score 89 points and win a game in the 90s. Fuck them old days where they talking about the game was rougher. The game was also harder to watch. You had 3 niggas on the court that couldn't shoot. I had to sit there and watch my mid-90s Lakers. Got Eldon Campbell on the court and Vlade Divac. Eldon and Vlade wasn't neither of them worth shit. Nick Van Exel would come to the bucket, throw a no-look pass, dump that hoe off to Eldon Campbell, and that nigga missed the dunk. And then the Lakers turn around and be like, man, you only missed 2 dunks this season. And instead of versus 5 last season, we gonna give you $49 million. Eldon Campbell got a $49 million deal. I'm not hating. He deserved it. I believe players deserve all their money. But the Lakers gave 7 years, $49 million to a nigga that didn't catch as many catches as he did catch from Nick Van Exel. Nick Van Exel's assist to turnover ratio is probably 3 or 4 points off just because of passes he made to Eldon Campbell that didn't get there. And then you had then we have Vlade Divac. This was a big, stiff motherfucker. Ain't no goddamn way in hell Vlade Divac can make the NBA now. Because all teams will do right now is run a high screen and roll and put him in an ISO situation, and he wouldn't be able to defend it. This nigga Vlade Divac, he used to run like he had 2 left hips. He couldn't move for shit. This nigga Eddie Jones would come down in the middle, dump that hoe off to Vlade, and this nigga Vlade would shoot a layup instead of dunking it and miss the fucking layup. That's how it was in the 90s, nigga. You don't want to go back to that shit. Now, Jokic is Jokic is stiff to a lot of these niggas of today, but nah. Nigga, Vlade Divac stiff is on a whole nother level than Jokic. Them white boys was only bad boys back then because the niggas weren't as good as they are now. All them white boys back then would have sucked today. Yeah, they were trying real hard to get Europeans of them Divac years. You're right, Willie Beam. Niggas was big for nothing back in the 90s. All you just needed 2 tall, And like going to the 2000s, you kind of saw things kind of change, but really, that's why Chris Webber needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Chris Webber changed that. When Chris Webber came in, because really Charles Barkley and Malone, but Charles Barkley and Malone were like anomalies in the 80s, and they were a little shorter. Chris Webber was the first 6'10" power forward to really come in with guard game. When Chris Webber came in, dribbling and crossing niggas over like a guard, and that was Magic Johnson's influence on the game, by the way. It was Magic, that whole late 90s, 2000s era of the power forward. That was all a direct result of Magic Johnson's influence on the game. Yes, Magic played a point guard, but Magic is what made big people think he made bigs. Because back then, you only handled the ball if you were 6'5" and under. Magic made it to where you could be over 6'5" and handle the ball. So you had the kids of Magic Johnson, and the kids of Magic Johnson was Chris Webber, Kevin Garnett, Rasheed Wallace, Dirk Nowitzki, Antonio McDyess, Tom Gugliotta, and that whole crop, Tim Duncan, that whole crop of athletic power forwards that got drafted in the 90s. And that's when you saw power forwards start having more game. But before that, you could be a power forward and not be able to shoot more than 22 feet outside the basket and have an 11-year-long NBA career. You know? Nah, this nigga Sheed was out of this world, man. This nigga Rasheed Wallace, this how great Rasheed Wallace was. This is why that whole, that's why I'm on buying into that bullshit ass Michael Jordan GOAT and all these dumbass narratives. They made you miss out on so many other great players. This nigga Rasheed Wallace was so good. Y'all. And again, I didn't like Rasheed Wallace because I hated the fucking Blazers. I'm a Laker fan, all right? Rasheed Wallace used to fuck us up with the Blazers. But Rasheed Wallace was so dope. It was a Sports Illustrated a magazine I read this in. It's like around like 2006. If you can find it, look up a Sports Illustrated article, interview with Rasheed Wallace. It's like 0506. And they were pointing out to Rasheed like, yo, we noticed you started shooting three-pointers. When did that happen? Because one year, Rasheed Wallace went from like shooting one three-pointer to the next year leading all bigs in three-point shooting. And Rasheed Wallace in one offseason went from being a dominant post player to the best shooting big in the NBA. Usually it takes 2 to 3 seasons to develop a consistent jumper. Usually about 2, maybe 3 seasons at the longest transition. This nigga Rasheed Wallace made that transition over one summer. And then this nigga, and he said, and in that interview, they asked him why he started shooting threes so much. You know what Rasheed Wallace said? Rasheed Wallace said, because it got too easy on the post. Like, I like making things hard for myself. Like, when it's too easy, I get bored. This nigga Rasheed Wallace became a three-point shooter because he got bored dominating niggas on a box. And then, you know what else Rasheed Wallace added to his game? The left-handed three-pointer. Not only would the nigga Rasheed Wallace shoot right-handed three-pointers, he would shoot left-handed three-pointers and knock them hoes down consistently. Ben Simmons, we don't know. He may be developing a shot now with all this time he's taking off. Hopefully he is. Developing a shot takes hard work and dedication. Again, takes making at least 1,000 jumpers a day. Oh shit, we got brush fire tonight along the 118. Oh shit. LA's on fire. Well, white LA's on fire. Nigga LA is good. Yeah. Real talk. You played against Kwame in high school? It's about good. Man, we got brush fires in Granada Hills, man. That nigga said Ben Simmons ain't gonna develop a shot. Look, man, I'm being positive, brother. William Hill, can't we be positive, my brother? I'm trying to, my brother, I'm trying to be positive about the brother Ben Simmons, my brother. I'm sorry, the Nation of Islam niggas, brother, hey, brother, man, brother, jive, brother. I'm trying to be positive about the brother. He might not develop a jump shot, though, nigga. That's the man. I hope he does, though. I hope he does. Ben Simmons just lost confidence. I don't look. Ben Simmons ain't happy, but Ben Simmons lost confidence in himself. It truly is mental, what's going on with him. I see it. But we as black people ought to empathize. Because our relationship to white supremacy is also mental. We don't believe we can beat them, so we don't try. Belief is a funny thing. It comes and goes. And when you see these things in life happen, it's good to laugh and joke. That's cool too. But at some point you gotta ask yourself, what area of my life am I not believing in myself? Because I know I got that problem. I still got certain areas of my life that some areas I'm hella confident and bold in. In other areas, my belief a little shaky. And we all in this life trying to grow and be better people. Be the best people we can be. So after we done laughing at Ben Simmons for his obvious mental breakdowns, let's look in the mirror and ask ourselves where are our mental breakdowns that's reaching us, that's stopping us from being the best people that we can be. You know what I mean? Like I use basketball as a canvas for life. All that shit's life. It's simulation. Sports is a simulation. Yeah. Bottoms. I remember bottoms. I remember one year, the year they was all going to the draft. That's when the last time I went to San Francisco. I remember 2006. It was like me, Bottoms, and a couple of players. We went up to Barron's house, stayed there for the weekend, and watched the Warriors. That was a year before that We Believe Warriors champion. That We Believe year. It was the season before that. Yeah, Ben Simmons did a lot of great things, man. He does a lot of great things. For him to do what he did, Ben Simmons is a great passer. He sets the team up great. He knows how to run a system. He's a great fucking defender. Ben Simmons does so much great. He really does. He really does. He just can't shoot. But given the right system, put him in the right team around the right players, Ben Simmons can still be a championship level point guard. With him being the ball handler that he is, teams can do what they do with him, but he's so great defensively, he makes up for a lot of his mistakes offensively. But he has to be in the right system, like all players. What you niggas talking about? Oh, yeah, you're right, though. Good point, Massoff. Good point, Massoff. Ben Simmons is one of them Australian niggas. That nigga spent his childhood chasing Tasmanian devils. So, you know what I mean? That's why he can't shoot. That's why he can run but can't shoot. This nigga Ben Simmons he spent this childhood, wrestling with kangaroos and shit. He wasn't out doing what we was doing. Ooh, you said Avery Johnson level jump shot? Ooh. My nickname for Avery Johnson is Our Guys. That's me and my brother. I say because I remember that's me, like me and my brother and my dad. Every time we would see Avery Johnson, we would call that nigga Our Guys. And why would we call him that? Because go back and look. Every time after the Spurs games are over with and they would interview Avery Johnson, he had these box jaws. That nigga's mandibles looked like they could fit on a hyena. And this nigga would be like, Our Guys played a good game today, but We lost because our guys were a little bit tight. You know what I mean? Our guys, our shots didn't fall in because I think our guys' legs was tired. And that's what he would, every post-game interview, he would be like, even when he coached the Dallas Mavericks, he'd be like, man, I don't know, man. We lost tonight, man, but our guys are going to be good the next go-ahead 2-on game. We going to be good. That nigga, Avery Johnson, I would never sock that nigga. I would never sock Avery Johnson. That nigga could take a Mike Tyson, Deontay Wilder punch, nigga. I think this nigga Avery Johnson could take 2 to the chin from George Foreman and be good. He would just be like, interesting. That was an interesting jab you have there, Deontay Wilder. That's what Avery Johnson would do if Deontay Wilder socked him in the jaw. Because his jaws could take all that. Like if Avery Johnson ever got in a car accident, them guardrails are gonna be fucked if his face hit him. He'll be good. Avery Johnson get out the accident like, that was interesting. Nigga, but whatever guardrail he hit, that shit gonna have a big ass dent the size of his jaws in that motherfucker, and it's gonna lose. Yeah, that nigga Avery Johnson, he'll take punches the way Canelo was taking them shots. Canelo was getting boop bop all through the ring that fight. Y'all saw that? Oh, hell yeah. We got a police chase on. Oh, no. That's... Wait, is this live? Oh, hell yeah, we got... Oh, yeah, that nigga... Oh, no, that's another police chase. Y'all know, I love police chases, dog. That's one thing I love about living in L.A. It be some fun, exciting-ass police chases. And I'm here for it. Part of growing up in L.A. is watching Laker games on KCAL 9, and then as soon as the game is over with, Pat Harvey cutting to, hey, thank you for watching the Laker game tonight. We have a police chase going through the Hyde Park area of Inglewood. Let's stay tuned. And that's part of growing up in L.A. He's Avery Johnson like a little cowboy. Yeah. But I'm about to get the fuck up out of here, y'all. All right. Good talking to y'all. Go back and look at my music review I did on the history of black. I did a dope breakdown yesterday on this channel on music and our Black American influence on the world. I debuted and showed you guys my music tree, but you got to watch that episode to see my music tree. I really broke this shit down. I went back 400 years for you niggas. Thank you, Star. Star just posted it. Star just posted. Go back and watch that. If you really want to see, I really broke down how black people started salsa music, Latin jazz, reggae, Afrobeat. I broke down where Afrobeat comes from. Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead and listen to that breakdown. Appreciate that last name first. Can Charlo beat Benavidez? I don't know. I might actually go to that fight tomorrow. Charlo fights tomorrow, and he fights like 15 minutes from my house. No, I can't go to that fight. I got a show tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I got a show tomorrow, so I can't go to the fight. Damn it. But thank y'all for listening. I'll be back with y'all Sunday night. I'm breaking down Kendrick's new album Sunday night. I'm breaking it down really, you know what I mean? We're gonna pull out some of the hidden gems and that he left in his lyrics. You know, my breakdowns are far different than anybody else. Everybody else's breakdowns is either they liked it or they didn't like it. I'm superseding like and dislike. We're gonna break down the information in that album, all right? There are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages, nigga.